That was an interesting takeoff in many
It
ways.
was. It's a very good example of how a simple thing can cause absolute mayhem.
Yes, absolutely. Excuse me.
That's all looking good. Now I've got to set the MCDU. Now we'll see how long it takes to load the flight plan. Because I wonder, you know, when it took ages before,
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was because it was getting confused between the two MCDUs.
Could be, couldn't it?
Although it is taking a while again. This is simulating 1980s technology, isn't it? The fact that it takes forever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
Ever and ever. Yeah, I know a song about that.
Right. Our real life, I say again, our real life flight number, which is a genuine flight from Nice, where we are now, to Vienna, is Oscar Sierra 426.
Wow.
Which is a real life flight. Although we're not normally in German wings, we would be in Austrian Airlines or whatever it is. Put a cost index of 30. Did we determine a cruise flight level in our flight planning stuff?
I don't recall. Captain.
Don't recall. In that case, we'll put in a nice one. Ooh, hang on. Which way are we heading? Yeah, we'll just put in 360. That'll do. That should all be good. Block fuel was 8 tons, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. 10 tons.
10 tons? Have you moved it all?
No, I beg your pardon. You're right. 8 tons. You're absolutely right.
What have we got in the aircraft then? Fuel. Yeah, we need to load the fuel. We've only got 2.4 tons.
Better get some on, man.
Better get that done. Load and fuel.
Meanwhile, I'm busy talking with air traffic and getting clearances. Hey, air traffic dudes, give us a clearance, man.
I'll do load instant.
Good idea. Are you doing the same with them, their passenger-y type things?
My flows and the MCD, in fact, I'll just run through the MCDU, just double check the routing. That all looks good. Have we put a departure in yet? I don't know if we have. No, I don't want an offset departure. No, we're changing this, aren't we? We said we're going to go from 04 left.
Correct.
And we want the Bassett 6 Alpha. It's updated. It was the 5 Alpha.
That's correct. Have our charts not updated to reflect this?
The charts have not updated. My charts are still 5 Alpha.
Likewise.
That's bizarre. Mind you, it's not for real life. Remember, children, this is not just for Christmas.
Right, but yeah, I thought they updated these on the same frequency as they updated the AirAx, but it would appear not.
Right, let me just scroll out a bit. Put that on position. 10 miles. I'm still waiting for my screens to update. I can't check the route on my screens.
I can see the screen here. It's showing part of the flight plan, right? USAR notive, no Bassett ABN?
No.
Okay.
All I've got is the test screen.
Oh.
ADIRs are on. Everything else is on. There's no reason why it should be stuck in. Oh, there. It's just taken ages to sort its life out. It's only just sprung up now, literally. It must have heard me talking about it.
And is it now showing USANO? Oh, now you're scrolling through it, right?
So right at the start, Nizano MN 054,
yep.
Usano,
yep.
Tivno, Bazip.
ABN,
it goes through the route.
Maneb. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot of points on the way.
And then Abtan, Nigsi, Ballad. There should be a disconnect there. So we do know what the... In fact, we don't know what the arrival's going to be. So let me have a quick look at the charts. Have I got the charts called up? No, I haven't, have I? What do you fancy as a landing chart?
Yeah, good question.
Because we can chuck that in now.
Good question. So, well, I've still got East on mine.
Now we do come in at Nerdu.
We're going to Austria.
We're doing Nerdu and then Ballad.
Vienna. Gosh, which one do I want to check?
Oh, there we go.
We want a star.
Nav
stars south. We want, isn't it?
6-20 is what I've got. What?
Yeah, likewise. Coming into Ballad. Yep, see that. Which runway are we going to be
Abtan
landing
1
on?
Whiskey, is it? So we should be Abtan, Nigsi, Ballad.
I don't know. I'm not looking at the flight itself. I can see Abtan, Nigsi, and then Ballad.
0. Yeah, then it should go to Nigsi.
Yep.
Then it goes direct to Ballad.
Yep.
So it's already programmed with the Abtan 1 Whiskey, which is good.
Yep.
And then we've got the discontinuity. So let's just clear that and see what we end up with.
Nigsi and Ballad, hopefully.
And let's do that one. So arrival runway, we were taken off 04, so I think ILS for runway 11 is probably the best, isn't it?
Well, it's an interesting question because I don't know how Universal Traffic decides which runway is in use. If we knew that, then we'd be able to check it because we know the weather is standard, but we don't know how Universal Traffic chooses its runways, do we?
Well, I'll put it in for 11 and then we can just ignore it because it's not going to tell us really, is it? So the transition is the Ballad 3 Kilo then.
Okay. I'll just have a quick search on Tinterweb. There's probably a default that's used by FSX actually. Let's try
that. Let's do an ILS to 11. It's going to be the Abtan 1 Whiskey, which we've got, and the VIA Ballad 3 Kilo by the looks of things. Yes, that looks promising. And then let's have a look at the screen and see if it does what it says on the tin. Abtan Nigsi Balag Whiskey 669. Then it's 665. In fact, we can tell that more easily just by doing that. 669, 665, and then it goes in kind of like an oblong shape.
Yep.
All in.
Okay, well, I won't bother to look at that anymore. We will worry about those as we get closer on arrival. Looks like our ADIRS has not aligned yet.
It is.
Not on my side. My PFD and ND are both showing heading map not available.
Hello? That's very bizarre. The ADIRS are aligned over here.
Now I'm looking at your PFD and ND. Similar situation, not aligned. Let me look at my overhead. Well, the ADIRS is on nav, so that's good. Back down to the cockpit view. So no, they're not showing here at all. Let me just see what happens if I activate the Sync ND overlay button. Off and on, nothing. And the displays, off and on, nothing. It says GPS primary lost.
GPS primary lost?
Which is what it shows by default when you power on but haven't got the ADRS aligned.
So obviously when I've turned the ADIRS switches on, it's not recognised that on your half. The switches have moved.
There's one you do on the MCDU, isn't there?
Yes,
for
the yellow
aligning.
start. It's on the init page, which I've pressed because it's gone.
And on mine it still shows align IRS in yellow.
Click that and see what happens.
I will. Okay, I've clicked it and the align IRS message has gone out. And now I've got full access to both the PFD and ND displays.
Do you want to change the modes and see what it looks like? So change to plan, for example.
Will do.
And then zoom out a bit and see if we get the same image.
So I'll change to plan.
Yeah, Lima Oscar Whiskey Whiskey.
Yeah, and now I'll zoom out to 20 miles.
Yeah, getting the range change.
Miles.
Ah, now that's interesting. So obviously the ILS alignment has to be done by both sides.
That's what it seems, yeah.
Right, okay. That's
another one to take a note of.
That's an important point as well, because obviously that's one of those things where I can see this, well I can't, well I can, well I can't. Right, I'll fly my own then.
Yeah, Connected Flightdeck, bah. Okay, so let me take a quick note of these before we go any further, Rich. So that one that we just noticed was pilot not flying brackets slave needs to align IRS.
Yeah, we could always do a video, as I've done previously with one ages ago, in terms of common hiccups or common problems.
Yeah, you must.
Because there are quite a few little ones that seem to just crop up, and they're not big things to fix. Because that's not a big thing to fix. It's just a case of, well, what have you got on your init page? Well, it's still showing ILS Orion. Well, press a button and see what happens. So there's a lot of this stuff where it's not a major fix, but it's like simple things like you say, with the buttons out of alignment, just go back and check the hotfix is applied correctly.
Yeah. So I'm just making a quick note of that one as well. Slave sees page before page activated by master connection. Okay, done.
Because that would be beneficial as a video, to do a video of common problems, almost like a symptom stroke. You know, if you're having this problem, try this fix. If
yes,
you're having this problem, try this fix. And you could either do it as a list of lots of short videos.
That's exactly what I was going to say, and that is precisely what I do.
Large help video. But if it's done as lots of short videos,
yeah, then
anyone who is trying to follow us through, who gets a problem, then at least there's a little reference. Because I've had at least a couple of people when I've done videos who've gone back into my videos because they know I've said something but can't remember. Yep. They haven't flown an aircraft for 6 months or something, and go back in to find something because they know they've seen it in a video somewhere. So if we have just a few little clips, that'd be golden.
I agree. Right, so we're ready for the takeoff briefing cabin.
Right, I'm going to go and visit the cabin momentarily. So I should be back in a second.
You're that scared? Crikey, oh no.
Yeah, I'm terrified, and I've got the controls.
In that case, I better have one as well then. Right, okay.
And back with you if you're there. Oh, priceless.
Right.
Hello.
Yes, the one near the cockpit was occupé, so I had to go around to the rear end of the aircraft and use the ones down there near the aft galley.
Yeah. Not quite sure what to make of that.
I would just do the takeoff briefing if I were you, Captain. Move swiftly on.
Well, I've just been looking at the arrival chart for Vienna, and I am chuckling because they've got a hold point on chart 7-10 called Fishermend. I didn't know Fisher was a broken, but apparently you can Fishermend.
Good to know.
Indeed it is. Let me call up the correct chart for where we're supposed to be going. So,
just before you do anything else, Rich.
Yes?
I've noticed our fuel on board is only 2.4 tons.
But I filled it, sir.
But it says here FOB 2.4 tons.
It says here 8 tons.
Oh dearie dearie.
I tell you what, let's load instant again. Does that change it for you?
Yes.
Right. There we go. That's fixed that then, hasn't it?
That's another one to note.
That didn't take much fixing.
3 FOB doesn't always sync.
If it doesn't, press the button again.
Okie coke.
Right, takeoff briefing.
Yep.
Let me just get the chart up so I can refer to it. If you can edit out the cough.
All adds to the realism, Captain.
Right, what we're going to do is a left-hand seat takeoff, runway 04 left, referring to chart 4-10 for the initial climb out, which is an RNAV departure. At the moment, the weather's good. There's no limitations. It will be a flat 1 takeoff. Just dropping back into the MCDU to confirm the figures. Perth takeoff, we've got a V1 of 113, VR of 124, V2 of 131, transition altitude of 5,000 feet. We've got a flex temperature of 57. We'll see how we get on with that. If we crash and burn, it was wrong.
Real life takeoff briefings. I wish I'd never heard.
The departure is going to be a BASIP 5 Alpha. RNAV departure, as I say, 04 left. The actual departure itself, climb ahead to 420 feet, and then it's right on to 139 degrees at 8 miles from the beacon NIZ. We then go direct to the turn point Mike November 044, maximum 210 knots at that point, and then on to November Charlie, Emiro and Badod. Minimum altitude 6,000 feet at November Charlie, and the initial climb will be to flight level 130, which is different to what we'd planned for.
Okay.
The only thing to be aware of is we need at least a 7% climb gradient to flight level 100. So 7% means for the speed we'll be doing, you'll be looking probably between 900 and 1,100 feet a minute, if not a little bit faster, but that's fairly early on. So we'll be well in excess of that. So in terms of the routing, that will then take us out to BASIP 5 Alpha. The actual transition altitude, as I say, is 5,000 feet. MSA, safety altitude, 10,700 to the north of a 072 radial, which is pertinent to us because we're obviously on a 040 radial. And then as we turn right to go down towards the south, it drops off to 3,000 feet. Beyond that, in terms of emergencies, it's my takeoff, so my controls. I'd like you to call 100 knots, V1 rotate, monitor the instruments throughout. Anything less than 80 knots, either of us can call stop for anything that we deem affects the safety of the takeoff. Between 80 knots and V1, we'll stop for a red warning, engine fire, failure, smoke or control difficulties. I'll stop the aircraft. I'll close the power levers, bring it to a halt, and if you can let ATC know. After V1, We'll take any problems into the air. If you can cancel the master warning and master caution after confirming what it is, and we will deal once airborne. And that really is the emergency briefing. If it's anything not covered by that, I'll throw my hands up in the air and look at you with open mouthed expressions of going, fix it.
Well, I look forward to that.
Do you know what you're doing now?
I'm fully briefed. I consider myself fully aware, and you can put that tick in the box that says I have been forewarned.
In that case, you are really not doing things right if you're trusting me.
Well, look, you know what they say, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And when it comes down to a bit more experience of this stuff, you the man.
I is not the man. I is definitely not the man. You is misguided.
I have every confidence, Rich. Think positive. Yeah. We're definitely going to crash.
Yeah, we're definitely going to crash.
Yeah, that's about as positive as I can be.
Let's set some stuff up then. So glare shield after that. So that's all right. Don't need select VOR ADF. And we said initial climb's going to be to 130, didn't we?
Excuse me, why are you doing that? That's on my side of the checklist, I believe.
It says FCU set. On your side, it says FCU verify and complete.
Yes, I stand erected. Thank you.
V2's 131, so we'll dial that in, but we'll put it into... we'll give it control. Yeah, there we go. We'll not worry about heading, although in fact what we'll do is we'll put that onto 04 to start with. Roughly, and then we'll give it control of heading. 13 Alpha. That's all set up.
And checked.
Thank you for checking my work.
Oh, that's interesting.
Push back and start flows.
Indeed.
So check the takeoff data. This is individual stuff as well again, so just doing the flows. Just pop the APU on. Always a good day out having an APU.
I like to think so.
Burn, baby, burn.
I don't think that's a very good thing.
Well, there's worse things. Now I'm looking at the pilot monitoring, pilot non-flying on the other side.
Yes.
We've had problems previously with the parking brake sync, haven't we?
We think that's fixed in the Hotfix, though, and certainly I've noticed when you've activated it, it's been reflected here. So I think we're okay now.
Well, we'll see how we get on.
We will.
Have we got any chocks, etc. in place, do you know? I know we've got the parking brake on.
Well, I will go and have a quick look outside. We do still have the chocks and the traffic cones and the external power connected.
Well, that's all good stuff.
So let's have a look. We need to remove those shortly, of course, but I needed to check that the boarding is complete.
Well, your flows on your side say chocks, traffic cones and stuff removed.
Because I still haven't checked that the boarding and the fueling is complete. Well, I know the fueling is complete, but it is the boarding. What have you done?
Every single light's come on.
I've just noticed.
Everything.
Have you just checked that switch?
No.
Neither have I.
What switch?
Oh, every single light in the aircraft has come on.
Everything. I mean, it looks pretty. It's like a Christmas dream, but...
So where is the annunciator test? There it is.
That's what I'm looking for now.
I've found it. It's off. There you go.
Where was that?
So if you look on the overhead...
Yep.
You know where the emergency exit light switch is? Just above it is the annunciator lights. You see it? I will activate.
There. Yeah. Wow, that was a scary one.
How did that get activated?
No idea. Everything just lit up and I went, ah! There we go.
Step away from the annunciator switch, back down to the
You know,
MCDU.
when I added the bit on the end of the briefing, if anything else happens, I'll sit there open-mouthed. And you mocked it.
Oh, well, yes, you're quite right. Me of little faith, that will never do. Right. Doors. Let's have a look at the doors. What we've got in the doors. We need to close the cabin door.
You mocked me, and then I was just as if fate was going to prove me right.
Parking brake. Let's have a look. Parking brake is currently on, which is what we want. And chocks and traffic cones need to be removed. So, ground services, traffic cones. Get rid of you, get rid of the wheel chocks, get rid of the GPU. And we're ready for the before start checklist to the line, I think.
Okay.
So, cockpit preparation.
Is completed.
The wheel chocks have been removed. Cabin signs.
Are on and auto.
ADIRS.
Our nav.
Fuel quantity.
8 tons.
Takeoff data.
Is set.
Barrow reference.
1013 set.
And 1013 set.
And it's also set on the standby.
Excellent. So continuing our flows.
It doesn't take much for mine. There's 3 things to check.
Doesn't really, does it? So the windows and doors are all good. Beacon.
I'm just going to look around and admire the scenery and the fact that they have palm trees in the airport.
It's a nice thing, isn't it? Yeah. So push
Beautiful.
back, stroke, starts, clear, obtain. Yes, we've got that as well. So, all right then, we're now ready for the before start checklist below the line. Are you ready, Captain?
I am indeed.
Windows and doors.
Are closed.
And closed. Beacon.
Is on.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
And parking brake.
Is on.
Excellent. Okay.
Right, we're ready to go, aren't we?
We're ready for our engine start. Flows capping.
Okay. Just put that over. We're going to start push back as well. What I'll do is I'll get us pushed back, and then once we're pushed back, we'll do the flows.
Right, you are.
If that's okay, rather than, in fact, no, it's doing it. It'll take us a little while to push back. Ignition is starting engine 2. It doesn't take much to start these bad boys.
So when do you announce that this is stable, by the way? What's the indicator that the engine start has been stable?
Well, it's fairly straightforward in as much as you're expecting all of the indications to be within the normal parameters, no significant changes in terms of divergence up or down, no flags, warning lights, captions, alarm bells or anything like that. But you can also look at things like in terms of the engine instruments, in terms of oil flow, fuel flow, etc. So it's not just the N1. It's pretty much looking for anything within the engine parameters that looks out of characteristic, really.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the aircraft. Certain aircraft will say certain things, certain parameters, and the air crew should know the list of constraints anyway.
Right.
For the engine operating figures, but I'll tell you what, we'll stop there, shall we?
Engine 1 is now stabilised, by the way.
It should be engine 2.
It is engine 2 stabilised, thank you.
Okay. Starting engine 1. Let's put the parking brake on whilst we're sat here. Tug should be disconnecting. That tug is doing something bizarre. It's almost like it's got the bar stuck and it's weaving left to right, trying to drag it out. That's just... how strange. FSX never ceases to make me chuckle. Are we stable?
Not yet. Engine 2 stabilised.
Thank you very much.
Ready for the after start flows. Oh, rats.
Rats?
Yes, it's my problem with being able to do stuff on the centre console. It's causing me issues.
With your views.
Yeah.
You fixed it.
Not so much. I'm just trying to do the flaps, but I've got an alternate method which I will activate, which I have just done.
Flaps 1 takeoff. I've got it showing as flaps 2. It's showing flaps 1 now.
Checked.
Happy days.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for the after start.
That's all good. And whoops, on your seat. Oh, moving across.
Get off me.
Ready for the after start checklist, Captain?
I feel molested. Yeah, I'm ready for the after start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Ecam status.
Checked.
Pitch and rudder trim.
Pitch is 0.1 up and rudder trim is 0.
Hand signal.
Received from the tow truck that's still trying to wiggle its way backwards.
Type of hand signal received?
Dubious.
Okay, so ready for the taxi flows. Your taxi clearance has been obtained.
Marvellous. There we go, we want that one. And that one. Taxi clearance obtained, you say?
Indeed.
Right, we're going to go round to the left and all the way down to the bottom. And then left again. Ooh, I've got nice Air France aircraft taxiing over there.
Ready for the before takeoff checklist to the line.
Stand by, just going to check the brakes. They appear to be working fine. Okay, just going to check the flight instruments in a second. So turning to the left, staying level, ball right, decreasing. I'll just do a quick turn to the right in a bit. Are you still happy with the ball left, moving right, increasing? Still happy with the takeoff briefing?
Indeed.
Okay. And we've got a little bit of a taxi out now to 04.
We do. So you ready for the before takeoff checklist?
Yes.
Okay, flight controls.
Taxiways, stand by. Yeah, we're all right. Sorry, go ahead.
Flight controls.
Checked.
And checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
And checked. Takeoff briefing.
Confirmed.
Flaps. Configurations.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 1. V1, VR, V2, flex 10.
113, 124, 131. And flex temps 57 if I recall.
57 was that?
Yes, 57.
113, 124, 131 and 57.
That's all good stuff, isn't it?
ATC.
Yeah, they're set.
Ecam memo.
Takeoff no blue.
Excellent.
All we've got to do now is wait for the following hour whilst this thing taxis to 04 left. Whose idea was it to go with Universal Traffic's choice of runway?
I blame it on Universal Traffic. I think the choice was a good one. Oh, look at the pretty aeroplanes. Are we supposed to be doing 70 on the taxiway, Captain?
Yes.
Oh, right. Okay, good. Just checking.
Yeah, I'm chasing this truck down. Trying to see if we can hit it.
Quality pilotmanship there.
All the things you would do in real life. Scare the
real.
I'm wondering where this aircraft on our left is going.
It's an aircraft on our left. Cracky, we're doing 32. I can feel the strain pulling the skin off my face.
Really?
Yeah, okay, I might be overacting a bit.
This would be an interesting taxi at night, wouldn't it?
Yes, that's right. Why are the lights suddenly stopped? Splash.
That would be a somewhat interesting one. So we'll just hold short 04 left.
And then we can... Ooh.
Let's put the parking brake on.
Ready for the before takeoff checklist below the line?
Yes, please.
Cabin crew.
They're advised.
TCAS.
There's TA
Engine mode selector.
is off,
Pack 1 and 2.
both on. Or both auto, I should say.
Excellent.
And clear out to the right.
Checking. If you're quick.
What do you mean if I'm quick?
There
I've
are
got a 55-ton plane here. It's hardly a Ford Escort.
There are a
Ouch,
couple of
okay.
aircraft on approach.
04 left.
If I'm quick. What?
Well, that's what we say to each other at car junctions, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll get out if you're quick.
On runway 04 left.
Right. Let's just pop some lights on. Okay, so you ready to go?
Ready to go.
So takeoff. Start the watch.
Config park brake on my side.
Oh, it's not on mine.
I've
Oh, it is
switched-
now.
Oh no!
Why did the parking brake go on?
I just switched it off because it was bombing on my side.
We'll have to
Okay.
do a toga takeoff now with what's left.
Power set.
Power's going for it.
100 knots.
Check.
V1. Rotate.
Retard 20.
Do we have positive climb?
Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
That all sounded
Traffic.
quite proficient at one point, didn't it?
It might have sounded it, Rich, but on my side, the aircraft was braking on the runway. We were coming to a horrible stop, but yours was obviously progressing quite nicely. So when you're saying...
Well, it started and then all of a sudden everything came on.
It was really bizarre. And then I had a call for retard as well as you were lifting off.
Now flaps up, please.
Flaps up.
Whilst we were chatting, we were
Yes.
going scarily towards our flap limiting speed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Just plug the autopilot in. And it will do a 10 times better job of what we're doing than I have.
Indeed. Not you have, we have.
We have. It was, in fairness, my hands had sole responsibility for the controls, and they were flapping around rather uselessly. Both my hands and the controls, I have to say.
Well, that was an interesting takeoff in many
It
ways.
was. It's a very good example of how a simple thing can cause absolute mayhem.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah. Do you want to go through the rest of your takeoff flows?
I'm going to do my after takeoff and climb flows then. Oh, there's some horrible noise coming from the engines on my side.
Really?
Yeah, it really is dreadful. It's out of sync and it doesn't like it.
Oh dear. It's fine on my side. I've got my engine's fine. Not bothered about yours.
Well, quite. Oh no, there's my... So, after takeoff checklist to the line. Landing gear.
Is up,
Flaps.
retracted,
Packs.
on.
Okay.
We're past our transition altitude, so going to standard.
Have you changed to standard?
Yes.
Not changed on my side.
Is it not?
In fact, I cannot change it either. It's showing QNH1013.
Can you see it change at all in the bottom right of your FD?
Checking.
Should say standard.
I'm not seeing anything actually. No, it's showing QNH1013 in flashing.
And you can't control that knob at all?
Just, I can turn it, but there we are. I've got it now. Okay, it's now set to standard.
Thank the Lord for that. Thank the Lord for that. So, are we going to do our after takeoff checklist below the line then?
Well,
now
in
we
fact,
fixed it.
That was it. Barrow ref.
Standard set.
Standard set.
And 1013 in the standby as well. We've gone roaring past 10,000 feet now.
Okay, let's have a look at my flows now.
There's no real point doing rad nav. We're doing a completely RNAV departure and we haven't tuned any radios. So we'll leave it to do what it was.
What's our cruising altitude, Rich?
Once we get to Bassett, then let me have a look. What do we type in? Performance climb, next page. It's got 290 here. I'd rather go for somewhere in the region of 350.
Okay, it's just that if 13,000 is a constraint set for Bassett, we should be able to dial in our cruise altitude now.
Yes.
Okay. So which, what do you want? Oh, you're doing it. Okay.
We'll go up to 3,500 or 3,000 foot. Flight level 350. I'll get it eventually.
Okay, so we should be established in the cruise. Well, we're not established in the cruise, but we're ready for the cruise once we
we'll
get
start
to Bassett.
climbing early.
Well, that didn't go well.
It could have gone better. I have
Definitely.
I have no idea why the parking brake just suddenly jumped on as we were about to take off.
Well, that in part was me, because I looked at the ECAM, which I'm required to do as part of my flows, and it said parking brake on, and I thought, oh crap. So I went to switch it off, which had the effect of switching it on for you. Then you switched it off, and mine showed still off. So between me doing that and you doing that, it resets. But in the meantime, it's got itself in a state of...
Now, we did have this before, didn't we? Where we found what you have to do is anything that revolves around physical control of the aircraft. So, parking brake, steering, gear, that kind of thing seems to be sometimes lost. The only one we haven't had is flaps. That seems to be quite happy.
Yeah. And the spoilers, in fact.
Yeah. But we've consistently had problems with the park brake, haven't we?
Well, we did have until we applied the Hotfix, and then we found that the parking brake synchronised correctly on the ground. But what we've just discovered is that at the time that we entered the runway for the takeoff roll, it wasn't synchronising then. That was our problem.
Yeah.
And as you say, that one little thing threw us off, and after that, our flows and everything, we got behind the aircraft, didn't we?
Yeah, it's worth pointing out that our flows normally are absolutely spot on.
Yeah, we'd like to think so.
Well, no, they are. For the benefits of the viewer, they are absolutely spot on.
Perfectly, 100%, very
100%.
correct.
We never miss anything or get anything wrong at all.
Ever.
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 Never.
Unheard
Never.
of.